Hey everyone. Okay, so today I'm going to do a video on how I made my silicone mold. So the main thing we're going to be using is this. This is Let's Resin Silicone Rubber Platinum Cured Silicone for mold making. So anyways, it's non-toxic and it's odorless, which is very good. And believe me, there is no smell to this. Low viscosity, self-degassing, high tear strength, and good heat resistance. So I got the smallest kit. It was on Amazon. I think right now it's like for $14 and something cents. So basically I'm just saying it's $15. But so it comes with your instruction manual. So anyways, so the jars come like this. This is the smaller ones. And so they come like this. So compared to the size of my hand, that's what the size of the jar is. So each jar is 10.23 ounces. So you're mixing both equal parts. So you're going to mix this and this together, and you're going to mix equal parts in. So I do 50 milliliters. People scale it out. My scale was not working. I don't know what's going on with my scale. So I had this little cup. It's just like a little shot glass, but it's like a little measuring cup. So we're going to do 25 milliliters of each A and B. So what we're using is we're using this just disposable cup. I use a little orange wood stick just to kind of like clean out the inside of this container, and I just wipe it off with I spray it off with alcohol, and then I just wipe it off, and so I just reuse this. This is a container that some of my other silicone molds came in. I have quite a few of different sizes of these plastic containers, which I kept because, of course, storage for little, charms and stuff. But now I'm using some of them for my main, I don't know what they call it because I'm really not into this yet as much as I should be, but like the main mold box or something. I don't know. I have no clue. But anyways, if you look up how to make silicone molds, there's people out there with more information than me, and they know what to call this. But you can like use what you have around the house. So just certain materials that you have to use, like plastic, but then other people like buy the actual ones. But then you have to like clip them together, and then you have to like hot glue gun around the sides and the bottom or something. And I didn't want to mess with that because I always burn myself with a hot glue gun. I just thought, let's try this, see if it works. It works. So that's good. And then we had a ton of these left over because we had a 60th wedding anniversary for my in-laws, like, oh my God, like 10 years ago or something. And so I'm just using these. It's just a plastic fork. So I'm just using the end to stir it with. So that is what we are using. We have our little characters over here on the side that we are going to be using. So basically I squirt out the inside of the container with a little bit of alcohol, and then I wipe it out with the paper towel, and then I squirt it out with some water, and then I wipe it dry. That's what I do. I don't know if you have to do that, but that's just me. That's what I do. So basically you just set your little guys in here, and you just want to make sure that you have them positioned in a good spot. So you don't want it too close to the edges. So you have to leave, like some room. So we're just going to put these little guys in here. Now the first time, like I had mentioned in my my short, I had placed them facing down. Well, that was a big mistake because it was just too thin on that side. So anyways, we're going to place them in here. Now you don't totally have to be perfect right now because they're going to move. Once you pour this stuff in here, they're going to move, and you're going to have to do it again. So I just like to kind of like just not really shake it, but just kind of like turn a little bit, back and forth to kind of mix it a little bit, each of them. So we'll do that. And this does have an expiration date. This stuff does. Like this stuff expires on 8/11 of 2027 is when this batch expires. So we're going to pour this. Where's A? We're going to do A. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I just, AB. Oh, and they have like this little thing on top. It's always hard to get this off. So there's like this little plastic thing on top. So that's nice that it comes sealed like that. And I always wipe that off because I don't know if it like could dry and then stay sealed. So So we're just going to pull in 25 milliliters. And we're just going to kind of start going slow. Okay, so just a little bit more. I don't know if it has to be totally like exact. I'm not totally sure. So anyways, and then I just always kind of just wipe around it. And then I'll put the cap back on this one. And then now we're going to do our B. No, we're not going to do our B. We're going to pour this in here. So now this is going in here. I did not plan this video very well. Oh, well, that's okay. You guys get the gist. And I just try to scrape out as much as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to let that over there. Now we're going to do B. Okay, I keep forgetting these little caps are on here, but I like that they're on here. Ugh, they're just so hard to get off. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. That's good. I'm happy that they have the little caps on. Okay, now we're going to do another 25. But this is a B. Now I tried to do 40, you know, like 20 of each, and I tried to just mix it in my little shot glass measuring cup, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was like I didn't use enough, or I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it did not set up. So I wasn't too happy with that. It was just big gummy mess. So it was kind of disappointing. That was the second try. The first try was the one where I had them facing downwards. Second try didn't set up. Third try worked. Really good. And that's the one that I showed you guys, was the third one. So now we're just going to empty this. This is B going into A. So we're just going to do this. And you want to do it like on a glass cutting board or some other kind of, you don't want to do it on silicone because you won't get the silicone that you spill. Like somebody was saying, don't do it on a silicone mat. So that's why I have the old glass cutting board here. So anyways, okay, so now I just wipe this off really quick. I leave this over here and I'll wipe this out really quick. Just so I don't have a huge mess going on because I don't want this stuff getting all over my other stuff. And then we'll do that. And then I just spray, this is alcohol in here, and I'll just spray the inside and I'll wipe that out with alcohol. So the first time, or the second time I did it, was this the second time? I think the second time I did it, I like stirred it instantly, and I used this little orange wood stick and I had mixed it in here, and that's the one that didn't turn out. So when I redid it again this morning, I did it just like this, where I kind of like cleaned up my mess, and then I just kind of like went in, and you can see that there are some bubbles. No matter what, there is gonna be some bubbles in here. You want to try to get the least amount of bubbles as possible, but you want to make sure that you get it stirred and mixed really well. They say 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know if I've actually sat here and stirred it for 3 to 5 minutes, to tell you the truth. I've just kind of just like done very slow, and then just kind of like make sure that it just seems like it's mixed. So now we're just going to pour it in. So we're gonna pour it in here. You guys are gonna move on me, I know you are. Okay, and so you just kind of just want to like go real slow, and then because you don't want them like totally falling over, so I just kind of try to get it over them, and it levels out really good, and then I just let it go in. And we just want to make sure we get as much in as we can, because you want to make sure that the top is covered good. And I actually thought this was a really good idea, because some of those molds, like they can cost like 20 bucks. So anyways, okay, so we're gonna throw that away, get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you guys down closer because I want to show you how the bubbles are popping. Okay, do you see the popping? Okay, so they're degassing. So it's doing it on its own. So that's good, because some silicones you have to have like this special, I don't know, air chamber or something. I don't know what they call it. But anyways, I didn't want to mess with any of that stuff. So it's degassing. So while it's doing its little getting rid of its bubble situation, we're just going to just kind of like make them so they just look nice in here, because I know some of them moved. So we're just going to make them look nice. Not that it's a big deal, because I mean, you know, this is just for me. And see the big bubbles? And then you also want to make sure that they're down there. Like they're on the bottom, because sometimes they can float up. So it's doing its thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to let it do its little bubble thing. Would you please pop? Thank you. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing, even though the bubbles are just bugging me. But we're going to let it go ahead. We're going to let it set up. And then when you guys see me again, it's going to be totally dry. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut those little guys out of there. So I will be back. Okay, so we're back. It is the next day. I recorded the first part of the video when I was pouring it. That was yesterday, October 28th, and that was around 6:30 at night. I did go ahead and put the little heater on in my room. I did have the room probably around 70 degrees, 68, 70 degrees. Oh, for some reason, it took a little longer last night to set up. I would say probably closer to maybe like an hour and a half. I just went ahead and unplugged the heater, and I just let it set overnight, because by that point I had a horrible migraine. I still have a horrible migraine today, but I want to get this video out for you guys. So anyways, so we're just going to take it out of the master mold, I guess is what they call it. I just used this metal thing that I got. I don't even know if I got it off of Temu or probably Shein. Okay, so this one, Hello Kitty already came out, which was very, very nice of her to do. So she already came out, so that was good. So we didn't have to cut her out. It came out really, really easy. The mold comes out easy. I had thought that I had to purchase the mold silicone releasing spray or whatever it is, and I did purchase it. It is going to be here by this coming Friday, but quite frankly, to tell you the truth, I don't think I'm going to need it with this silicone. I'm going to go ahead and keep it just in case if I try out other silicones, but I don't think I'm going to need it for this silicone. So basically, as you can see with this one, let me pull you in. I went ahead and I just did the heads. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I just did like the heads this time instead of the full body, because I didn't want to make the same mold. But anyway, so this is my 4th mold that I have made. So let's go ahead and get these guys out. The closer you push the backs to the bottom of your master mold container, the thinner it's going to be, so the easier it's going to be to get them out. So I do suggest just kind of pushing them down before they it starts curing. So we're just going to go around with this little utility knife. I did put a new blade in here, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily the sharpest. You don't have to go down too deep, or you should not have to go down too deep. So you just go around it, you trace it, and then it just comes out, and then you just pull the silicone off the back of your little person or your little flower or whatever you're molding. And it comes out really nice. Like, there might be a few little pieces that I might have to pull. Where's my black background? I'm trying not to put it on here because I don't want to get it linty. There might be a few pieces that I might have to go back in and just kind of like cut out. Like, there's just like a little flap right there. So I'll just go ahead and I'll go back in when I can see better, because right now I can't see very well because of my migraine. But when I can see better, I'll go back in and I'll just trim this around a little bit. But it came out really, really good. Now these, you know, you are going to have to hand paint them yourself and, you know, whatever, which is fine, you know, with me. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to trace around. I try to get as close as I possibly can to whatever I'm going to make the mold of, because it just looks cleaner. And then, okay, so like this one, so you can see how like the plastic just kind of pulls up. I don't know if you guys could see that, but anyways, so maybe it'll do it over here. So this is where you might get some little extra pieces that you might have to go back in and trim, or you could just kind of trim them as you're going. But yeah, so then that's all that you do. So we'll go ahead, we'll finish taking these out, and then I'll show you guys, oops, wrong way. No, is that the wrong? No, yeah, it was the wrong way. I'll show you guys the differences between definitely between my first one and then my last two. This one I didn't trace as well, but it's okay. Okay, so like, see how it's like right there where it's kind of like hanging on. You can just kind of like go back in and just slightly just kind of like touch it with your razor blade and get it off, and then it's a real nice clean smooth cut on the surface. So I went ahead and I sped up the video because you guys don't need to see normal time of me cutting out the little characters when I'd already done a few of them. I went ahead and I muted it pretty much because I don't know, I wasn't talking during this point of the video. And so anyways, I think I was just trying to concentrate on getting the little figures out. But anyways, yeah, so as you can see, it's really easy to get the characters out. It's especially if you do place them on the very bottom of the mold and make sure that they are down there pretty good. Other than that, the process is really easy, and I definitely would recommend trying it at least once. I mean, it's actually pretty cool. So anyways, back to the video. Okay, so this is the very first one that I made. Now, when I keep saying it's too thin, this is because I put the characters in here, I put them in face down. And I shouldn't have, because then it makes the area that you want to, that you want to fill in, it's too thin. So as you can see on this one, well, a few of them, there's already holes. So there was a hole there when I took her out. See that? And then there's a hole here. That's what I mean by too thin. So it was just, well, I think all of them have holes. They probably do. So anyways, so that is what I mean by too thin. You don't want it too thin, because this is the area that you're going to be putting your stuff in, and you want to be able to, like get into the little crevices and put your stuff in. This mold isn't very like intricate as far as, like, let's say there's some smaller areas and a little more detail in this mold. But anyways, yeah, so you want to be able to get in there with your brush or get in there with your dotting tool, and you don't want to have to worry about poking a hole in it. So that's the reason why I say it was too too thin. So see, like on this one, you can like tell it's a lot thicker. So like you can see, it's very easy to do. I'm gonna go ahead and make another video showing you guys how they turn out after I do use them. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. But I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.